Now, one thing I'm going to let all of you know is that women can sense your weakness on a spiritual and energetic level when you're in a relationship. When you're in a relationship, your energy, your aura, your frequency, more often than not, women can sense your weakness on an energetic and spiritual level when you're in a relationship. So this is what you have to remember: your aura, your energy, your frequency. The more you attach yourself to the feminine in order to give yourself a feeling of completion or wholeness, the more you'll be punished. You will see this time and time again with any man who gets into a relationship. When he needs her, when he's so dependent on her, what happens is he loses sight of his future, he loses track of his future, and he loses track of his God-given purpose. But most importantly, he loses track of his family and friends that were once closest to him. See, this is what you have to remember. When you date a woman, there's this tug of war going on for leverage. There's this unspoken situation. There's this unspoken rule. There's this unspoken narrative where she will use sentences, vocal tone shifts, nuances, mannerisms to pull you into her world. And each concession, you have to understand, it starts very small. She finds ways to get your emotional investment, your physical time investment, and your love investment. And what happens over time is she wants to see how much she can get. She's going to see how much she can get. She's going to see how much she can extract. And when this happens, when you don't see this extraction happening, when you're not aware of this, you start over giving, you start giving too much, and she starts respecting you less. So what you have to know, what you have to learn, what you have to understand is that women can sense and women can feel your weakness on a spiritual and an energetic level. Okay, so this is like never talked about, but this is like the real reason why she can sense your weakness on a spiritual and an energetic level. It all comes down to time. We only have 24 hours a day, and we only have 7 days in a week. There's no way getting around this. It doesn't matter if you're 8 feet tall, doesn't matter if you're a professional athlete, doesn't matter if you're making 15 grand a year or 150 grand a year or 150 million a year. This is what you have. You have 24 hours in a day. When you're single, you leverage and use that 24 hours better. So you're more focused on the gym or on the gym, or you're more focused on God and your mission and your career and your purpose. Okay, you're probably super centered and focused financially, or you have a great social life with your friends and you're always in a cheerful mood. Your macros are dialed in with your fitness and with your meal plan. You probably now have six-pack abs and you're living that Chad lifestyle. You have that aura about you that says, yes, I am a fully functioning male with high testosterone type energy. I'm leveraging my God-given skills and conquering my goals. This is how you come across, okay? Now, what most men don't understand is that not only does it take all day, but it's basically a full-time job to maintain your own attractiveness and to be attractive. This is like a full-time job. Every day, 24 hours, if you don't start using this time the right way, you become weaker, you fall into lust, you fall into bad habits, and you become a shell of your former self. So this is typically how a guy lives when he's single. Now he spends more time with her because he meets her. And at first it's like they see each other maybe just a couple times a month. Then it's once a week. Then it's twice a week. Then pretty soon, the dude's married after a while. That's how it goes. But here's the problem. If you don't understand how to leverage and monitor your time, is time has an inverse effect with women compared to like business or your job or your career. With business or your job or your career or even your body in the gym for that matter, the more time you give to those things, the more you're rewarded. With women, it's completely opposite. The more time you give, oftentimes the less she respects you and the less desirable she feels that you are because your attention is easily accessible. So then when you're with her, you spend less time on your goals, okay? Because you only have 24 hours in a day. So if she needs attention as well, now you are constantly in this balancing act. She starts to soften you. You'll start to eat worse food. Okay, all of a sudden 1-2 times a week it's, babe, I want chicken Alfredo, babe, I want lasagna, babe, I want pasta, babe, I want to go get ice cream, babe, I want to drink some soda. And now all of a sudden you look worse. The most important thing though, why I'm telling you that, like why I'm really telling you that a woman can sense your weakness on a spiritual and energetic level, is because when you get to this point, your aura drops. Your aura starts to drop and your aura goes down, and now you're less productive. You're less productive. Okay, your aura drops, you're less productive. The energy you're radiating does not signal that high testosterone, okay, primal desire type energy. You start to become in this weak situation or this weak state. So you're in a bad situation. But what you have to remember, okay, is like when you're structuring your day, when you're structuring your life, when you're structuring your time, and if you really want the relationship to last with longevity, it is better if she gets less of your time, but the time that she does get, it's quality. Even if it's just for like a couple hours, let's say. The reason being is because you get to maintain your aura and your spirit, and you stay in that masculine state. Your productivity typically increases, okay? And then what happens is you have more mental toughness, because most guys, okay, give more time because they're fearful that if they don't, she's going to give that time to somebody else. And the reason why this is the biggest misconception is because women are hypergamous. So once she falls in love with you and once she views you as her best option, she doesn't desire to see anybody else because you are now the best man in her life. She now desires your attention because your attention is the most valuable. Always create limitations and barriers on your time for you and her. The reason being is because this helps you stay in the right state, and this also does her a favor by keeping the relationship dynamic on point so she can keep respecting you. This is so important. So one of the dudes in my community, I was helping him learn, understand, and master the language of women, and he goes, she won't leave me alone. So this girl I've been talking to won't stop trying to talk to me, he says. And then if you shift your attention down to the bottom of the post, he goes, I didn't mean for her to like me this much. So this is the type of results that I'm seeing. Like when a guy says, so this girl I've been talking to won't stop trying to talk to me. The reason why I think that that's so important and so powerful even is because like most guys have the exact opposite problem. When I say the exact opposite problem, like most guys will say things like, she left me on red, she won't text back, why won't she call me? This guy literally says she won't leave me alone. Well, he's getting the opposite result of most guys. And this is why I'm telling you, most guys today don't have any results, which is why if you do things opposite, despite it seeming like a contradiction at first, when you start to learn, understand, and master the language of women, and you actually understand the sequence that I'm teaching, you start to have way better dating success. And I've seen this help impact so many guys in their life and in their dating life. Be sure to join us inside of that community after today's video is over. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.